Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today what I have for you are a couple of games, post-narrated, in the NU tier, because there's a few new threats that have been released of late that I really want to cover, and I'm going to be using one of them, and we're going to see if we can encounter any of them along the way. Now, what those threats are Mega-Beedrill and Adaptability Dragalge. Now, Mega-Beedrill I think is actually in PU, like all the Megas are in their original tier where their original forms were, until that sort of gets sorted out, because obviously they're going to move around once they do get sorted out. And Dragalge, however, is still in NU with its adaptability ability, which incidentally Mega-Beedrill has as well. Now, I really wanted to explore Adaptability Dragalge because it's incredibly powerful, but I think there's some interesting things that we can do with it, and hopefully I'm going to be testing them out today. With this team, we have Luxray and Electivire, so you might be able to see where we're going with this, depending on the kind of things that I like to do. Then we've got Dragalge. This is a Life Orb Dragalge, as opposed to a lot of people are thinking about Specs or AV, as it has been for a while. We've got a specially defensive Uxie, a Scarfed Ludicolo, because why the hell not? And my final team member was something that I wanted something that could take on the new Adaptability Dragalge, as well as the Mega-Beedrill, which is, as I say, although it's PU, I've seen it a fair bit in NU because it can clearly hold its own there. Now, the ideal option would be a Steel type, but they're kind of few and far between. Kling-Klang has a very limited move pool. So in the end, I went with Assault Vest Regirock, who can take the hits from Dragalge fairly well, especially the poison type stab. Can eat up hits from Mega-Beedrill, even the drill run, and can reliably hit back with Stone Edge and Earthquake. It's also packing Drain Punch and Counter. So, let's get on with the games and see what happened. I should say, the replays on Showdown aren't particularly working very well. That's why you can't see the sort of resume button in the middle of the screen. I actually just recorded straight up replays and recording the vocals over a recording. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out. It also is quite painful to talk because my mouth is full of ulcers once again. Nothing I can really do about that, apart from put Bonjela on them and be in agony. So, let's have enough of that talk and get on with the battles and, you know, just see what happened in them. So, first off, my opponent's going to lead with Beedrill as I go with Luxray with the Intimidate. This is fine. He goes for the Protect. I actually predict that and go for the Electric Terrain. Yes, I'm back on Terrains. He's going to go for the U-turn, get out of there and go into D-Boys as I roar him out, unfortunately, straight back into the Beedrill. So I'm going to switch out, go into Boulder Train, the Regirock. He takes the drill run really well and the U-turn equally well. Goes into the Executor, I'll go for a Stone Edge, does a nominal amount of damage. But now I can go into Uxie and he's going to go for the Leech Seed. This is Spadef Uxie. He's going to take these hits well enough. Go for the Stealth Rock as he goes for Toxic, so racking up the residual on my Uxie. I don't like that one bit. I need to get out of there as soon as possible. Going to go for the U-turn, do a nice amount of damage, and go into my Evire, Electionvire. Yeah, takes the Gig Drain, go for the Electric Terrain again, as he goes for the Toxic. Now, here I'm going to be able to Volt Switch, and I see an opportunity to go into my Dragalge. As he goes for the Leech Seed and misses, here's the Party Piece, go for the Sludge Wave, look at that, that's the new thing it gets, the adaptability, does huge damage, it would have taken it out anyway. Here's the main Party Piece though, and I'm just going to pause it here. He goes for the Extra Sensory. Now, obviously, Dragalge, part Poison type, this isn't going to take it particularly well. I'm certainly not going to be able to live 2, especially after the Leech Seed, but when I said that Dragalge had a Party Piece, this is it. Camouflage. So, pausing it again very quickly, Dragalge is now an Electric type. Remember, it has Adaptability. Remember that originally it was weak to the Extra Sensory. Here's what's going to happen. It's going to go for the Extra Sensory again. I suspect it's Scarfed. I'm going to live it, go for the now Stab Adaptability Thunderbolt, and take out the Ninetales. Go down to Life Orb, but that's what Dragalge can do. He's going to go into Beedrill, I'm going to go into Evire, and I just have to take the hit. Something's got to go down, and I nominate Evire. In comes the Pikachu. I'm going to be able to go into Uxie, who should be able to take it on one-on-one. Goes for the Fake Out because it is a physical Pikachu. This is not a problem. He can go for the Volt Tackle, but I will live just about, and I will be able to go for the Knockoff, take out the Pikachu, and then go down to the Toxic, I believe. No, not quite. I've got one more turn left. He's going to go into Basculin, but I can save this for fodder, go into Luxray, get the Intimidate, and take a couple of Waterfalls, which I am able to fairly usefully. He's going to go for the Waterfall again. I'm going to go for Wild Charge. I am going to go down to Recoil, but that's okay, because now he's just got Octillery and Beedrill. I go into Ludicolo. It's my best switch. If he went for Beedrill, I could have switched out and sacked something, but Giga Drain's going to take out the Octillery. Now, in comes the Beedrill. Beedrill versus the world. I see now as an opportunity to sack off Uxie, which Poison Jab is going to allow me to do. Now, Ludicolo, Scarfed, doesn't outspeed. Ludicolo, you're terrible. But, Regirock, can I take the hit? Yes, I can. Can I hit the Stone Edge? Yes, I can. And that is going to be good game. So yeah, that was the first game. Really showcasing the bulk, the true power and bulk of Regirock in the face of the mighty Beedrill, and Dragalge putting in some work with that Camouflage. People who know me will know I love my electric terrain and my Camouflage shenanigans. I was really excited when I saw that Dragalge would have adaptability, of course, when it was unreleased. I was very annoyed, as were many people, with things like Flash Fire Entei, I think was one, Sheer Force Feraligatr was another. That's how I felt about Adaptability Dragalge. But now it's released, and I can go along with my shenanigans. So, let's get into the second battle, and see what happened there. So, here we are with the second battle, and as you can see from my opponent, I was on the NU ladder, and who do I run into but McCann? Yes, a good friend. I would like to consider him a good friend of mine, from the Twitter and the YouTubes. Do you know what? I'll put his links in the description. Fuck it, go check him out. He's got some fun content. He's possibly not the most frequent of uploaders, but what he does, it's really good shit. I highly encourage you to check him out. He's a great guy. What he brought to the table was a very threatening team, but I do see possible opportunities once again for Dragalge to do some work. Now, I should say, McCann knows that I like electric terrain, so I was worried he might suspect. I used it quite early and he cottoned on, but it turned out to be a really great battle, so let's not beat around the bush anymore. Let's just get into it and see what happens. So, he leads off with a Togetic. I go with Luxray once again. He's not going to want to stay in here. He's going to go out into the Klinklang as I go for electric terrain. Now, these things set up, so I know I need to roar him out. Get rid of the Klinklang into the Lapras. He's not going to want to stay in. Goes into the Klinklang again as I pull the switch into Dragalge. Now, unfortunately, he misses a Gear Grind here. Wouldn't have done too much, I don't think, but here's the Camouflage. I'm electric type, and here's the power. In comes Rapidash. Not frail, but not alive anymore. Thunderbolt, stab, just doing the damage. Now, in comes the Executor. I'm going to switch out into Uxie, and this is Spid F Uxie. But look at that. Eddie says no to that. Doing a huge amount of damage. But he wants to get out of there, goes into his Togetic as I U-turn on out once again into Dragalge. Now, I took the risk. He could have gone into Klinklang, but I go for the Sludge Wave, and it does huge damage to Lapras. 70% is enormous. Lapras is by no means frail. Goes for the Ice Shard, does a nice bit of chip damage as I go for the Sludge Wave to take out the Lapras. So yes, Dragalge putting in work. At this point, I'm just going to let Floating Voter go to a Psyshock from Eddie. Does mean I can go into Uxie and get a U-turn off. Doesn't quite take out the Executor. Going to go into Evi and take huge damage from the Psyshock. He's going to save his Executor, go into Klinklang as I Volt Switch. Going to go into Regirock, who can take a Gear Grind. He's going to go for the T-Wave. As I go for the Drain Punch, not doing as much as I would like. I thought we might have gone into Togetic. He does that now, as I get paralysed, which is unfortunate. He's going to go for Dazzling Gleam, get a nice 20% crit as I get paralysed again. Third Dazzling Gleam comes in, and I miss a Stone Edge, so Reggie really needs to sort of get his shit together. Another Dazzling Gleam, finally going to hit that Stone Edge, do a huge amount of damage. And here I predict, just for the sake of predicting, go for the Earthquake. I know it's not going to do much, but I just decided to go for it anyway. Going to sack off Electivire here to the Togetic and go into my Uxie, just to knock off that Eviolite, which is causing me no end of trouble. Going to go for the Dazzling Gleam, not do too much to my Spid F Uxie. going to be able to get my Toxic up as we trade statuses. And right now, I could have an opportunity to set up my rocks, but I go for the U-turn instead, so I can get that initiative into Luxray and hopefully take this thing out with 1, maybe 2 wild charges. And that is exactly what I'm going to do, just go for the wild charge. It only takes 1, and finally, that bulky flying egg thing is down. So, in comes the Klinklang. Gonna go for the gear grind, possibly predicting a switch out, but I'm gonna stay in and just roar him out because I don't want this thing setting up on me. In comes the knife moustache thing. He's gonna Dragon Claw to 2-hit KO my Uxie. Fracture is a big threat actually. Don't mess with Fracture, it can do all sorts of damage. Gonna go into Scarf Ludicolo, but I predict the switch nicely here. Go for the Focus Blast and get rid of that damn Klinklang. And now I need to save Ludicolo. In comes the Executor, goes for the Synthesis, as I try and sack off my Regirock. That Giga Drain crit, I doubt it mattered too much. This is Life Orb Executor after all. Going to go into Luxray, which I thought I was making a mistake here, but it does allow me to get a little bit of chip damage with 1 wild charge and a couple of Life Orb hits onto the Executor, because it would have been difficult for Ludicolo to take him out with the Ice Beam, which I'm going to now go for, but with that damage I can take out the Executor, and now it's just the Fracture. Again, I'm Scarfed, I can get a big hit off. Can I live a hit from it? Yes I can, quite usefully, and I'm going to be able to go for the second Ice Beam to finish off the Fracture. So yes, that was the second game against McCann. As I said, do go and check him out, he's got some cool stuff on his channel. We like McCann, he's a good guy. But yes, that is going to be the video. I'm really happy that Dragalge managed to do some work. And you know, Regirock did his thing too. Those are the 2 I really wanted to showcase. Obviously I've used Uxie before, and Luxray, the intimidating Luxray with electric terrain, is just one of my staples. I absolutely love it. It's a great physical wall. Even though it's in PU, I can't believe it. Luxray deserves at least to be in NU. As far as I'm concerned, it can run special, it can run physical, it can run physically defensive, you know? It can do all these things, and it's got stuff like Intimidate and Guts, so it's a really great mon. But yes, my main thing was the Adaptability Dragalge and the powerful bulky Regirock, both of whom did some things. So yes, that is going to be it from me and from this video. Thank you to First Opponent and McCann for the games, and thank you to you for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed, and yeah, with that, I guess I hope to see you all next time. Laters!